Welcome to this introductory video about the Enneagram for musicians. The Enneagram is not about labeling you or putting you into a box. It's about helping you wake up to the automatic patterns, blind spots, and habits that may be operating outside of your current awareness. Once you can see them, you have much more freedom to choose your path forward. Most people have heard of the 9 Enneagram types, but that's just the beginning. There are 27 subtypes and really 54 instinctual versions. When you add your unique life experiences, musical journey, relationships, and inner work, there are endless expressions of those 54 versions. Think of the Enneagram as a map. Just as a musical score provides a map of what a composer intended, the Enneagram provides a map for the inner work that can help you become a more confident, authentic, and present musician. If this idea resonates with you, I hope you'll keep watching to learn more about the Enneagram itself and begin the process of understanding that greater self-awareness through self-observation and self-exploration, guided by the wisdom of the Enneagram, can help you face the practice room, lessons, rehearsals, and performances with more self-confidence, authenticity, and presence than ever before. The Enneagram, as we know it today, has philosophical and mathematical roots traceable to ancient Greece, synthesized with modern psychological concepts. The word Enneagram comes from the Greek words ennea, meaning 9, and gramma, meaning written or drawn, literally translating to a figure with 9 points. While its precise origins remain a subject of discussion and research, many authors have noted connections to ancient Greek philosophy and mathematics, as well as timeless explorations of human character found in works such as the Iliad, the Odyssey, and later Dante's Inferno. In the 20th century, George Gurdjieff introduced the Enneagram to the West, and Oscar Ichazo developed a framework connecting the 9 points of the Enneagram symbol to personality patterns. Claudio Naranjo further developed the Enneagram by integrating modern psychology with the 9 personality patterns, laying much of the foundation for the contemporary Enneagram. Since then, the Enneagram has continued to evolve through the work of influential teachers, authors, psychotherapists, and researchers, including David Daniels, Helen Palmer, Beatrice Chestnut, Uranio Paez, Sandra Maitre, Don Riso, Russ Hudson, and many others. While perspectives on its history continue to evolve, the Enneagram remains a powerful framework for self-understanding and personal growth. While the history of the Enneagram is fascinating, a more important question for you right now may be, why does this matter? One answer comes from neuroscience. As you develop musical skills through repetition, you engage in a process called myelination, the strengthening and insulation of neural pathways through repeated use. As these pathways become more efficient, your physical responses become faster, more reliable, and more automatic. I am passionate about helping musicians understand that this process involves much more than technique alone. When you practice, you are not simply reinforcing physical skills. You are also reinforcing the mental, emotional, and physical patterns you bring to every repetition. In other words, you are not just training your skills, you are training yourself. This is where the Enneagram becomes especially valuable for musicians. It provides a map for understanding the habitual patterns that shape your thoughts, emotions, attention, and behavior. For me, the Alexander technique has been invaluable for exploring the physical dimension of musicianship, while the Enneagram has been tremendously helpful for exploring the mental and emotional dimensions. One of the foundational ideas of the Enneagram is that we experience life through 3 centers of intelligence: the head, the heart, and the body. Each center has its own gifts, blind spots, habits, and ways of interpreting the world. In a moment, we'll talk about identifying your Enneagram type and hopefully your subtype. The subtype is especially important because the three subtypes within a single type can look surprisingly different from one another. The nine Enneagram types are organized into three groups: three head types, three heart types, and three body types. While each type tends to rely most heavily on one center, the growth path described by the Enneagram leads toward greater access to and integration of all three. As you discover your type and subtype, you can begin exploring practical pathways for growth, both as a musician and as a person. When it comes to finding your Enneagram type, you have many options. My first professional Enneagram certification was through the Enneagram Institute of Ohio, affiliated with the Enneagram Institute. During that process, I studied many valuable resources, including The Wisdom of the Enneagram by Don Riso and Russ Hudson. I learned a tremendous amount from my teachers there and remain deeply grateful for that foundation. More recently, I began a second certification process through the CP Enneagram Academy with lead teachers Beatrice Chestnut and Uranio Paez. One of the things I appreciate most about their work is the depth and nuance of their exploration of the 27 subtypes, as described in The Complete Enneagram by Beatrice Chestnut and The Enneagram Guide to Waking Up by Beatrice Chestnut and Uranio Paez. Rather than focusing primarily on the 9 personality types, this approach explores the dynamic interaction between type and instinct, creating a much more nuanced and precise framework for self-observation and growth. While I still find value in studying wings, I've learned to place much greater emphasis on instinct, subtype, and the movement of the arrows when considering growth and development. While both traditions have been incredibly helpful and valuable to me, if I were recommending a single assessment today, it would be the CP Compass test. In my experience, understanding both your type and subtype provides a much richer starting point for self-discovery than identifying your type alone. I'll include links below to the CP Compass assessment, along with the extensive collection of free Enneagram content available on the CP Enneagram Academy YouTube channel. One thing I would encourage is using caution with free online Enneagram tests. Many are overly simplistic and lack the depth and research behind more established assessments. A well-designed assessment can provide a much more useful starting point. If you'd like additional guidance finding your Enneagram type, I reserve a few spots in my schedule each week for free, in-depth typing sessions on Zoom. As I wrap up this introductory video, I hope you've caught a glimpse of how the Enneagram can support your growth as a musician. Whether you're in the practice room, a lesson, a rehearsal, or on stage, greater self-awareness can lead to healthier habits, better communication, increased confidence, and more authentic music making. In upcoming videos, I'll explore each of the 9 Enneagram types and their 3 subtypes, along with practical ideas and experiments you can bring into your practicing, lessons, rehearsals, and performances. If you found this video valuable, I hope you'll share it with a musician who might be looking for a deeper, more meaningful path of growth, both as a musician and as a person.